So today we are going to go over the last lesson, which is 12.5, and it's using recursive rules with sequences and functions. Now there is going to be a total of 6 examples of the definition of recursive rule. It gives the beginning terms of a sequence and then a recursive equation that tells how a sub n is related to one or more preceding terms. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of time to write that. All right, so the first thing we're going to have to do, the first example. Whoa. Yes, I'm sorry. We are going to have to find hot colors, first 6 terms. Given that a sub 0 is 1, and they're going to give you a formula that looks something like this. A sub n minus 1, both that n minus 1 is a subscript. Now, what am I supposed to do here? Very good question. And that looks pretty bad. Let me change color, and I'm so sorry. Let's go into some cardinal colors. What you're going to have to do is list the first 6 terms. So my first term is a sub 0, which was what? 1. Bless you. Then I have to find a sub 1, which means a 1 minus 1 plus 4. Now, what is that 1 minus 1 really?
0.
This is a 0, so this is, what's my a sub 0?
1.
So this 1 comes here, 1 plus 4, which equals 5. Now, this 5 is your a sub 1. Then I have to find my a sub 2. So I'm going to do a 2 minus 1 plus 4. But what is 2 minus 1? 1. So who's my a sub 1? 5 plus 4 is 9. Do you see what's going on?
Yes.
So my 9 is really my a sub 2. Then I find my a sub 3, which is 3 minus 1 plus 4. So that would be 9 plus 4, which is 13.
Wait, what?
Something sort of, yes.
What is 3 minus 1? Like, that means it's 2.
This 3, so then you go, who's your a sub 2? 9. So my a sub 4 is 4 minus 1 plus 4. Well, what's 4 minus 1? 3. So who's my a sub 3?
13.
13 plus 4, which is 17. And then over here I'm going to do the last one. A sub 5 equals a 5 minus 1 plus 4, which is really 17 plus 4, which is 21. So it's asking you to list the first 6 terms. So it would be 5, 9, 13, 17. And I actually forgot the first one, which is 1. Sorry. 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, and 21. This guy is the first term for that one. Even if it says a sub 0, but it's the first one in that list. So when you look at this, that should be a 21. Is that a arithmetic or a geometric? Am I adding or multiplying to get from 1 to 5 to 9 to 6? You're adding, so then it has to be my arithmetic. Are we good? 2. We need to find the first 6 terms again. But now they're going to give you something else. A sub 1 equals to 1. And a sub n equals 3 times a n minus 1. So this one's a little bit different.
Not really. It's geometric, right?
Oh, we'll find out, but I think it is. We start off with 1 because this. Yes. So let's just make sure that we understand. We just substitute the numbers in for that one, and it becomes a multiplication one. Most of the ones on your worksheet are arithmetic.
Put it back.
Now, the two formulas that you need, the recursive. Are you done being silly?
No.
The recursive equations.
The boy didn't put it back.
He doesn't like you. For arithmetic.
That we talking.
Is going to be a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus d. That's how easy that is. Now, if I give you an example for this one, so this would be example 3. We got the numbers 3, 13, 23, 33, and so on. Now, in order for me to write the recursive equation of this, the first thing you're supposed to see is, it is arithmetic. What is it? The d becomes a plus who?
10.
A plus 10. Now, you're going to have 4 problems where you're going to have to do this. The first thing you need to do is identify your first term. So my a sub 1 is going to be who? 3. And when I write the equation for this, it's just pretty simple. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus 10. So those 4 questions are going to have 2 answers. The a sub 1 and the equation. That's how easy it is.
So I have to put it?
Yep. Pretty simple.
For days.
Now,
For the A1 and the equation?
mhm. So the next one is for your geometric. Now, the equation for geometric is going to be a sub n equals r times a n minus 1. So that right there is an r. So for example 4, let's say you got 16, 40, 100, 250, 625, and it would continue. So the only thing I really need to find is my who? R. And how do I find my R? 40 divided by 16 is? 2.5. Now that as a fraction is 5 over 2. And if you do 100 over 40, you're going to get the same thing. Now, who is my a sub 1? 16. So here's one of your answers. And then my equation would be a sub n equals my r, which is 5 over 2 times a n minus 1. And that's it. These are the easiest questions, not difficult.
If you do have problems like those, like questions like those, would you want it as a fraction or a decimal?
I prefer a fraction.
Fraction, okay.
Yes, please. All right, are you ready for the last 2 equations? All right, last two examples.
Ready.
Whoop whoop.
Get you pumped up.
Whatever, I could sense it.
2
Now,
pumped up.
iterating. Have y'all heard that word before?
Yeah. No.
Me neither. Especially not in math. And iterating functions. No, me neither.
Why'd you say?
Because it's there. Iterating functions is basically a composition of a function within itself. So I need to find the first 3 terms, which means x sub 1, x sub 2, and x sub 3. Now this is where they're going to give you equations. If you remember at the very beginning, the title says sequences and equations. Now, why? They're going to give you a function. F of x is negative 3x plus 1. And they're going to tell you x sub 0 is 2. The goal here is to find out what x sub 1, x sub 2, and x sub 3 is. It's the same thing we've been doing, but now with an equation. So how do you find your x sub 1? Well, it's negative 3 times x sub 0 plus 1. So this is really negative 3 times, who's my x sub 0? They give it to you up here. 2 plus 1. So this is really negative 6 plus 1, which is? Negative 5. So my x sub 1 is negative 5. Bless you. Then I'm going to look for x sub 2. Negative 3 times x sub 1 plus 1. Negative 3, who's my x sub 1? Negative 5 plus 1. 15 plus 1, which gives me. So my x sub 2 is 16. And then you have to do it una vez más, one more time. So x sub 3 is negative 3 times x sub 2 plus 1. Negative 3 times 16 plus 1. Negative 3 plus 16 is a negative 48 plus 1. So x sub 3 would be negative 47. That's it. I just want you to do one more on your own. So can I switch from this slide? Yes? Okay, this is the one I want you to try on your own. They give you f of x equals 4x minus 3, and your x sub 0 is, that's a 0, is 2. So go ahead, and you have to look for x sub 1, x sub 2, and x sub 3. So go ahead and do that. All right, so this would be the answers. Hopefully this is what you got. Check your work. Yes? Okay, so on your worksheet, do 1 through 14. Omit number 6. 1 through 13 is like example 1 and 2. 1 through 5, sorry. Then 7 through 10 is like example 3 and 4. And then 11 through 14 is like example 5 and 6. And then for you to choose either, you either do 23, 24, 25 or 26, 27.